Impressive run for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Gordon picking him up and laying him down right now.
Mark Martin, what a story.
That 5 car is moving.
The championship is going to go to Jimmy Johnson.
You are looking at the 5-time champion.
Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. This month's Quaker State Motor Oil Matters Fastback is about the gauge panel in the race car. Let's first talk about the water temperature and oil temperature gauge in the car. Today's dash panel has gauges that give us the capability to set a high warning light. So in other words, if you want to run 240 degrees of water temperature and that's your high limit, then we can set the gauge at 240 degrees. The gauge will actually start flashing red to get the driver's attention. The other thing we look at, there's a volt gauge in the car. Now, normally everything with the volt gauge should be absolutely normal, but should we happen to have an electrical system issue within the car, we can run about sometimes an hour to an hour and a half without having to change a battery. So again, we have a warning light on the dash at the voltmeter that signals the driver when the volts fall below a certain level, so we can start shutting off key electrical components and maybe finish a race and possibly win a race. The other things that are on the list, talk about fuel pressure. A lot of races that you watch that come down to fuel mileage, you hear the driver and the crew chief talking back and forth about saving fuel. You hear the crew chief talking to the driver about watch that fuel pressure gauge. What he's looking for is a pressure reading that's actually in the line going to the carburetor in the fuel system. And when that starts to flutter or when that starts to falter, so to speak, that means that you're getting very low on fuel. Again, that gauge will flash. We can set a low warning limit that will get that driver's attention very quickly. Probably one of the most important gauges is the tachometer. Our tach actually now lights up with different color lights, from green to yellow to red, depending on the engine RPM. We don't have a speedometer in a car, so this is how a driver judges his speed going down pit road. Hey, thanks for tuning in and enjoy this month's Quaker State race recap.
Day and a half late, we are going green in Atlanta.
Now we got a real race to lead.
Gordon powering by Kyle Busch and will become the 6th different driver to lead this race in the early going in Atlanta. And another one charging forward, Jimmy Johnson, old 5-time.
Jimmy Johnson really struggled with this race car early on in this race. They made some adjustments on a few pit stops, have him well up inside the top 10 now as he's up to the 6th spot.
3 wide, Jimmy Johnson to the bottom and to the lead.
New leader, 48.
Trying to get the lead from Johnson. Just hasn't quite gotten to stick it down low and hold it. Make it stick.
And this is the best position we've seen Jeff in down the back straightaway. He'll probably get him this lap.
48's closed right up on the 24. And Jimmy fighting right up to his back bumper.
You can see Jimmy just walk the car all the way up the track.
Now, did we talk earlier about another fantastic finish here in Atlanta?
Got to run.
Oh, yeah, he got him loose.
Gordon drives it in to stay side by side.
Jimmy's getting a little loose.
Both of them wiggling up off the corner. What's the wiggle going to be that costs Gordon the win or Johnson the chance to make a run at him? Lost some time there.
Yeah, Jimmy said, I got to try something.
Gordon gaining some ground. Can he hang on?
Well, Jimmy Johnson sideways as he went to the gas hard.
Johnson tries to get there, can't get it done. Career win number 85. Jeff Gordon, 3rd on NASCAR's all-time win list.
Yeah, 85. Wow, that is unbelievable. I mean, I'm just blown away. The kind of day we had, the kind of year that we're having. I mean, I just feel rejuvenated in such a big way, and it's because of this race team and these race cars I get to drive. 85, woo! I love it, man.
How wild will it be? Who gets in? Who gets left out? And who wins at the end of 400 laps tonight in Richmond? The green flag is out. Here comes Jimmy Johnson looking low in the 48.
Richmond slips back to 3rd there. Jimmy Johnson takes 2nd.
Trouble there. Boyer spinning around and trouble behind him. About a half a dozen cars going to pile up in the aftermath.
88 car's got a little damage in the front. Quite a bit, actually.
Jimmy Johnson to the outside of Jamie McMurray.
And new leader, 48.
3 wide again.
Man, I'm telling you, big time. They're still racing 3 wide.
And a guy whose number we haven't called a lot tonight, Jeff Gordon in that 24, getting closer and closer to the front.
Trouble turn number 2. Jimmy Johnson battling for the number 4 position with Kurt Busch. Gets turned around in turn 2.
Side by side for the lead. Which lane's going to open up?
I think Gordon can make the pass up here.
And there he goes.
Gordon just motors right on by.
Tony Stewart in position to grab himself a place in the championship, as is Dale Earnhardt Jr.
If you'd have told me before the night started that Dale Jr. was going to make 16 pit stops on the night and he was going to be able to stay in the top 10, I'd have laughed at you, but that's kind of what's happened here.
Kevin Harvick takes the checkered flag tonight at Richmond.
I thought we was going to have a pretty good car tonight. They had the 33 spun out over there, and everybody kind of knew about it except for 1 or 2 guys, and drove a few of us into the wreck, but we just worked hard the rest of the night.
And here's the best part with that wink. He is in the chase.
Drivers trying to win the 400-mile race. 12 drivers looking to take the first step in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Green flag at Chicagoland.
See, Jeff's up on the high side. He's coming off of turn 4 right here.
Had a huge run. Takes it all the way to the apron.
Yeah, that's not out of bounds here. You'll see drivers throughout the day utilizing that.
Psychology of a championship. Jimmy Johnson starting the chase for a 6th consecutive championship. You want to talk about getting into people's heads?
He's well on his way. He's running awful good this run. He's just tracking down Matt Kenseth. He can take that 3rd spot away.
The 2 of Brad Keselowski about to give up a spot to Dale Earnhardt Jr. This is for 2nd place, Jimmy Johnson and Tony Stewart. And up front, here is for the lead, Jimmy Johnson to the outside of Ryan Newman. Talk about a couple of other guys who are gradually and slowly chipping their way forward in the running order of this race. Mark Martin in the 5 has moved up to 8th spot. Gordon's out of view.
All clear. Keep coming.
You'll see Gordon there. Matt Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson, all slowing out of gas. Tony Stewart, the fuel holds up. Tony Stewart opens the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup with his first win of the season.
The car was a bit of a struggle in some parts of the race, but we made some changes at the end. The car was really, I think, one of the fastest cars on the track, and we drove up in the top 10 there. We started trying to save a little gas, and we made it further than most.
Who's up front when they wave the checkered flag after race number 2 in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup? Green flag is out.
And here comes Jimmy Johnson to the inside, trying to take a spot away.
And that's a race for 7th, 8th, and 9th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. picks up another spot. That's going to be 8th position on Martin Truex.
Out front right now, it's the 5 car of Mark Martin. The fastest guy on the track right now is Jeff Gordon, and he is in 3rd.
Yeah, absolutely. He's moved up to 3rd place, past Ryan Newman. He's been one of the quickest guys on the track right now. Lap after lap, he's been the fastest guy out there.
Jeff Gordon out in front of this race more than anyone else so far today. He has spent about a quarter of the race out in front. Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, 13th spot.
Well, contact there. That was close. I've seen the last bit of contact even.
See, Jimmy be pretty aggressive today, trying to get by these cars. Maybe a little frustrated.
It's just so hard. You get down into the corner, there's going to be more.
Oh, no.
That's it.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. possibly out of gas, coming to the checkers also, and got a right front. 2 wins in a row to start the chase. Tony Stewart wins at New Hampshire.
We didn't have a car like we thought we would. We were really optimistic yesterday after practice. The car was just great. Today it just didn't have the speed, and then track position was so important, and spit calls didn't work out our way. But yeah, we'll take this one on the chin and go on to the next one.